Texas Plains, September 1890. The sun rises harshly over the Lone Star Ranch, casting long shadows across the dusty yard. Henry Harlan's calloused hands grip his Remington rifle, steady despite the 55 years etched into his bones. 30 of those years have been shadowed by loss. 7 riders crest the horizon, dust kicking up like a storm, led by Victor Langford the Tycoon, who controls half of Dustville and hungers for the rest, including the 20-year-old woman huddled behind Henry in her ripped bridal gown. Her name is Amelia Hayes. Last night, she was meant to wed Langford. Instead, she fled to Henry, the one man who made her feel protected in this unforgiving land. Langford's shout echoes like thunder. "Harlan, hand over my fiancée, or we'll drag her out over your corpse." Henry's muscles tense. Amelia's breath is hot on his neck, her fingers digging into his shirt. This is how feuds ignite, not with grand armies or lofty ideals, but with one man's stand to shield what he cherishes, even if that love defies every rule. What will Henry choose? Has he already crossed a line he can't uncross? Henry Harlan hadn't always been a hollow shell on his 1,200-acre spread in the Texas wilderness. Once, he'd been Captain Henry Harlan, Confederate cavalry, storming through Union ranks, defending homesteads from Comanche raids, returning to a wife whose laugh warmed like a hearth fire, and a daughter who called him daddy. Then, 1879 hit with cholera. In 2 weeks, he buried them both. That's when he carved out the Lone Star Ranch, not for fortune, just for endurance, rising at dawn to wrangle cattle until fatigue drowned his nightmares. Dustville sprouted up 12 miles east. Henry seldom went. When he did, folks muttered about the silent widower, the specter too stubborn to die. For years dragged on in isolation until the day Amelia Hayes's stagecoach axle snapped on the trail to Austin. She was 19 then, back from boarding school in New Orleans, brimming with poetry and ambition. Her father ran Dustville's Soul Bank. Her mother had perished in labor, leaving Amelia to mature fierce and independent under his watchful eye. The coach carried her from kinfolk visits. 5 outlaws ambushed at Rattlesnake Gulch, seeking payroll. They got a girl with an unyielding gaze. Henry was tracking wild mustangs nearby when her cry pierced the air. He burst in to see Amelia cornered against the coach, dress shredded, as the bandits argued her doom. Henry didn't pause 3 blasts, 3 bodies down. The survivors bolted at the steel in his stare, the mark of a killer numb to remorse. As Henry pulled Amelia from the wreckage, a spark ignited. She pierced his rugged facade to the sorrow beneath. He glimpsed beyond her youth to her unbowed spirit. "Thank you," she murmured. Henry grunted, escorted her to town, waved off the bounty, and vanished into the plains. But Amelia couldn't erase him. She started detouring by his ranch on horseback, stealing glances. Henry spotted her, but kept his distance, sensing peril in a young woman's intrigue. One afternoon, she knotted a silk scarf to his fence post, note tucked inside. "For saving my life. May peace find you." Henry pocketed it, swearing it meant zilch. But in Texas, secrets simmer like buried coals, not desires, not histories, and certainly not forbidden flames. Victor Langford swept into Dustville like a dust devil, subtle at first, then destructive. At 46, flush from oil strikes and property grabs, he charmed with talks of growth and wealth. Locals eyed the opportunity. They missed the shark. His tactic, lend freely then crush. He floated easy loans to faltering farmers and shopkeepers. Defaults meant forfeiture. In 3 years, he claimed a quarter of the county. Then he targeted the Hayes Bank. Robert Hayes was principled in a cutthroat trade extending grace during droughts, stalling evictions after storms. Noble but bankrupt bound, Langford proposed alliance, a stake in Dustville's boom. The fine print hid ruinous rates. Within 8 months, the bank teetered. Hayes faced ruin or Langford's ultimatum. What is daughter for solvency? She's 20, Hayes objected. Old enough for responsibility. Langford smirked. Meanwhile, Amelia had blossomed into a stunner chestnut, locks gleaming in sunlight, green eyes sharp with wit, curves that flustered boys and stirred old regrets in men. Yet she fixated on one, the recluse at Lone Star. She'd ridden by his land scores of times, once catching him shoeing horses, shirt unbuttoned, sinews rippling under tanned hide. She hid in the brush, pulse thundering, until he sensed her and she spurred away. She was tumbling for a stranger twice her age, a man etched by time. Logic be damned, the soul craves what it craves. When her father decreed the betrothal to Langford, Amelia's world shattered. I refuse, she snapped. You must. Hayes choked. For the family, the town. Langford would erase the debt. The bank endures. And me? Hayes averted his eyes. You'll adapt. But some fates demand rebellion, even at mortal cost. The nuptials loomed for September 18th, 1890. Dustville buzzed. Langford lavished fine whiskey, a gown from Chicago, blooms from St. Louis. His crowning conquest, Hayes's riches and Texas's fairest prize. Amelia barricaded herself in her chamber the eve before. Hayes had confiscated her riding gear, stationed a watchman. For your safety, he claimed. That night, Langford intruded, shooing the guard. Amelia stood at the casement in her shift, arms folded, gaze averted. Darling Amelia, he purred, oily as snake venom. Tomorrow you're Mrs. Victor Langford. My flesh may be yours, she retorted. My spirit? Never. His eyes roamed her form, the dip of her hips, the rise of her bosom under sheer fabric, her defiant jaw. Spirits bend, he said, edging nearer. I'm an expert tamer. Revulsion chilled her. This, his paws mauling, his bulk smothering, his lessons. You'll find me a tough pupil, she warned. He grinned. I thrive on resistance, dominating the untamed is my thrill. He departed, leaving dread like grave dust. Amelia bided till midnight. House hushed, sentries snoring. She shed her gown, donned concealed trail garb breeches, blouse, boots reclaiming her wild self. The window creaked open. The mesquite branch held. The earth cushioned her drop. Her mare, Starlight, awaited in the corral. Best rider in the region. She proved it that night, galloping through shadows to the man who'd ignited her hope. But hope, like passion, exacts a toll often in crimson. Henry heard the hoofbeats at 3 a.m., snatched his Remington, and peered out. A slight figure, expert horsemanship. His breath caught, recognizing the mount. Amelia Hayes dismounted in his dooryard, bridal dress tattered from flight. Moonbeams lit her tresses, her fevered cheeks, her resolute stare. Amelia! He cracked the door, barrel lowered but ready. What in God's name? I couldn't wed him, she gasped, voice fracturing. Won't. Henry holstered, stepped forth. She trembled in the chill, from terror or thrill. Your Paul fret. My pa traded me like livestock to bail his bank. Fury sparked in her eyes. And here, no one else I trust. She advanced. He inhaled her scent, noted her throat's flutter, recalled her gaze post-rescue like he was redeemable. Can't aid this, he muttered. It's improper. What's proper? Marrying a viper? Being his chattel? Her palm met his chest. Henry, I've fixated on you since that day. Ridden by, dreaming of your touch. Stop pretending you don't sense it. Henry's restraint was a levy against a flood 30 years solitary, for grieving, months eyeing this girl evolve into a force, knowing he had no claim. The levy buckled. His arms encircled her waist. She yielded, lips brushing his tender, urgent, flavored with defiance and dawn. They stumbled indoors, kiss unbroken. Henry barred the door, backed her to it. Her digits fumbled his buttons. His mouth grazed her collar. Certain, he rasped on her flesh. Utterly, her gown's fasteners yielded under quaking hands, bearing porcelain skin, her corsets swell. He hoisted her to the bedchamber, laid her on the patchwork his late wife stitched, then halted. "Can't," he growled. "This ain't right." Amelia propped up, laces undone, mane tousled. Right is a world dictating that a woman of 20 can't pick her love. Right is creeps like Langford owning souls. She tugged him near. "I pick you, Henry Harlan." This. Their mouths merged soft, then ravenous. Henry's palms charted her like sacred ground, devout, frantic, fearing evaporation. Amelia's touch ignited his belt, fire on his hide. Grief's ashes scattered in her heart. They synced like old flames, Henry kissing contours, eliciting gasps that maddened him. Garments shed, pulse to pulse. "Please," she breathed, "no more delay." Henry's barriers crumbled. Hands untied her intimates, frantic for union, for mutual claim. Mere moments from consummation, Henry stiffened hoofbeats, a posse thundering. Amelia sensed his rigidity. "What?" He lunged for his holster. "They tracked you." Langford's bellow. "Harlan, she's might surrender her." Amelia clutched the linens, dread wide-eyed. So near paradise. Henry dressed swiftly, the veteran surfacing. "Stay put. Whatever transpires, don't emerge." "Henry," he kissed her brow. "If I fall, take my steed, bolt to New Mexico. Don't return. Not without you. You must." His gaze hardened, odds tallied. "Caring for me invites this hurt. But some pains merit the gamble. Some battles, once ignited, demand a finale." Sun-crested Lone Star as Victor Langford and his 7 encircled the cabin. Henry fronted his porch, Remington cocked. He'd braved worse in the war, but stakes soared now. "Langford," he hailed, "you're intruding." Retrieving stolen goods. Langford perched regally. "My bride strayed. She chose. She's 20 muddled." Langford sneer-iced. "You preyed on that, no doubt." Henry's trigger finger itched. "Watch your tongue." "Or what?" "Murder atop perversion." The gunslingers fanned, palms hovering over holsters. Henry pegged them. Mercenaries who slew for coin, conscience clear. "One shot," Langford offered. "Release her." Amnesia ensues. "Keep her." Texas learns your depravity. "What sort?" "The type luring naive girls with loneliness as bait." Henry descended. 7-1 in cavalry days, he'd summon aid. Today he was it. "She ain't naive," he said low, "and not yours." Langford's mask slipped. "I bought that girl fairer paws indebted. Collect from him. After you." A thug drew. Henry's Remington roared, felling him, shocked. Bedlam erupted. Henry dove behind a trough, slugs shredding planks. 6 remained, plus Langford. 1 flanked right. Henry's round dropped in mid-stride. 5. They scattered to outbuildings, pinning him. Amid din, Amelia Shriekita, stray bullet shattered the pane, glass raining. She was nicked. Primal wrath surged in Henry, a fury that fueled Shiloh and Vicksburg, the ire of the destitute. He charged the stable, where 3 holed up. Rifle spat thrice, 2 crumpled. 3 left, plus boss. He ducked behind bales. Chambers refilled drilled precision. A hired hand exposed. Henry's shot pierced true. The penultimate panicked, fled horseback. Henry spared him bullets for a worthier. Langford alone, dismounted, horse as shield, fancy peacemaker drawn. "Done." "Langford," Henry yelled. "Ends on my terms." Langford exposed, blasting erratically. Henry aimed deliberately, Trigger click dry. Langford grazed his thigh, toppling him rifle skidding. Langford loomed, barrel leveled. Twice her age, eh? Let's test that. Henry twisted, yanked his sidearm. Dual blasts. Langford's veered. Henry struck home. The mobile wavered, hubris yielding to stun, then slumped like sacked grain. Henry rose, blood streaming thigh and arm. Yard strewn with cadavers, powder haze drifting. The runaway thug vanished. Amelia erupted from the house, half-clad, heedless. She caught him collapsing, eased him down. How severe? She probed wounds. Survived harsher, but pallor betrayed him, breath ragged. She guided him in, ripped bandages, hands steady despite tremors. Don't you die, Henry Harlan. Not intending. Faint grin. Got reasons now. But triumph's just a prelude. In the Texas territory, reckoning wears many masks. Toughest, convincing oneself of deserved grace. Dustville folk arrived by midday, gunfire rumors drawing them. They had Langford's corpse amid his killers. Henry patched by a disheveled young woman fierce against detractors. Robert Hayes rode in, spotting his daughtertresses wild. Gown wrecked, loyalty ablaze grasped irreversibility. Papa, Amelia said softly. Hayes surveyed carnage. Henry's dressings, her unyielding guard. I see. Sheriff Thompson demanded accounts, the townsfolk's explanations. But raiding Langford's saddlebags unearthed scandal, falsified deeds, rigged contracts, proof of widespread swindling. Langford fleeced us all, Thompson declared. Harlan's defense justified. Whispers of the haunted rancher shifted to heroes' tales of savior unmasking the wolf. Doc Ellis mended Henry's gashes. Lucky, the medic said. Inch off, you bleed dry. Ain't luck, Henry replied, fixed on Amelia. It's purpose. Recovery demands time, affection, and forbearance. Scars linger unseen. 8 months on, frost blanketed the plains. Lone Star humstock to herd, ledgers to square, a shared existence. Henry mended full, though joints gripped pre-rain. Amelia embraced ranch life, mastering vetting and tallies. They wed on a Wednesday in May 1891, an intimate rite with Robert Hayes beaming as he gave her away. No extravagance, just a plain ivory dress stealing Henry's wind. Do you, Amelia Hayes, take this man? I do, she interjected. Do you, Henry Harlan? I do, firm as bedrock. Their honeymoon night fulfilled the thwarted eve-tender yet wild, lingering yet fervent, holy and utterly passionate. Amelia's patience amplified each caress. By lamplight, with wind moaning, they loved as maps unfurled, futures vast. Post-bliss entwined, breath sinking. Regrets, she queried. Fighting for us. Henry pondered his first family in Dustville graves. Daughter who'd be 13, lonesome epics. Then her, vibrant, exquisite, ardent for a scarred veteran. None. Beyond, gales scourged the flats. Within two souls, odds defying, plotted a legacy, proving love heeds no calendar, no decorum, no clock. The frontier forged by defiers, Henry Harlan and Amelia, was such. Their saga legend in Dustville a testament, hearts outweed heads in survival's game. What do you think about this tale of forbidden love, age gaps, and vigilante justice? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you side with Henry and Amelia's defiance, or see red flags in their choices? Share your stance. I'd love to hear your perspectives.